Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's special episode of Hey Sister. Woo! We are talking about tonight's. See, you turned your camera around. Okay, thank you. We're talking about tonight's Lifetime movie broadcast of the Clark Sisters, the First Ladies of Gospel. It just wrapped up, and it was a phenomenal. I dropped down a few notes here. I hope you got some notes, sister, because we have things to discuss.
I can't see you, sister, but I'm gonna keep discussing. I'm gonna discuss, but I
That's
don't
all
see
right.
you.
I can see you, and the people can see both of us because I look. So if y'all can see both of us, say hey, who's ever out there. If you're watching, drop down in the comments, say hello, and let's get this party started. You gonna start a watch party? I'm gonna start a watch party too. Let me do
No,
that.
because well, hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Hold on. I got the.
You got things going on, huh? Yes, indeed. So, sister, just first impressions. Sister, you're frozen. What you did? What happened? Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey, Arnetta, how are you? I don't know what happened to Christina. You're frozen. Your screen is frozen. She's gone and she's gonna come back in. Hey, April, how you doing? Thank you all for joining tonight. So if you watch the movie tonight, we want to hear what you think. Drop down in the comments. Give us your first impressions of the movie. We're gonna talk about the casting, the costuming, why I think Aunjanue Ellis should get an Emmy Award for playing Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, because let me tell you, she played that role to the T. You hear me? That sister played that role to the T. My sister's back in. I don't know what happened. You froze there for a second, sister.
Yeah, I froze, and then I couldn't get it back here. I'm out there. Who you said played that role?
Aunjanue Ellis, who played the
Played
role
Maddie
of Dr.
Moss
Maddie
Clark.
Moss Clark. Yes, yes. So I was asking for folks' first impressions, and I wanted them to drop them down in the comment section here as we talk about the show. Yeah, listen, the costuming. You talk about glasses, honey. The glasses, the wigs, the clothes, the cars. They
They
did a
captured it.
phenomenal job.
They did, and Lifetime is hit or miss. So praise God, from whom our blessings flow on that one.
Yes, 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 yes. So Arnetta says she just got out. She missed the movie, but she'll catch it at 11 tonight. So yes, that's the one good thing about Lifetime. You will catch a replay. Okay, how about that?
What is happening with my app?
Anybody need a replay? They have a replay for you, right?
They definitely do, and you could also catch it on the app. It's probably a bit. Well, it might be 24 hours, but listen, yeah, I am worn
Where
out.
you want to start, sister? Where you want to start? Because I see the energy. You're already like you can't find the words to say. But first, let's start with the casting. Let's talk about how they did a phenomenal job with the cast,
They did.
and that Karen's daughter Kiki was able to play her mother. I think is just absolutely wonderful, because both of them can clearly sing their faces off. I mean, I don't know how some people, like you said, some people it just be blessed in the DNA. Let me tell you about
The
that. How
whole
about that?
family. Just how it missed our whole situation. How it missed our whole generation when our grandmother used to sing and like.
And used to go up and down the bayou at different churches, and people wanted her to sing. Child, listen. Whew.
But like I said, in my head, in my mind, I sound just like the Clark sisters. So that's what it is. Must stick with that. Oh my
All
goodness. All
right.
right,
So, what else do you have to say
sister.
about the casting?
The casting was fabulous. Like I said, you know, Roland Martin said something on Twitter about the ratings and about, just to see the number of tweets, was trending. Clark Sisters movie, etc., was trending. And he just spoke about about, you know, when the power of what we can do. And I retweeted and just said, yeah, you know, quarantine aside, when we get content that is compelling and when it's done right, because again, we know that Lifetime can make some interesting choices in casting, but I'm so happy that Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, and Missy Elliott were executive producers, because I know that they made sure that this was done right, and was done right because they were influenced by the Clark sisters. So great job on the casting. Great job on the costuming, costume
So let's
design.
talk about the costume. So they went from the 60s all the way up to the 2000s. So nearly a 40-year span. And they were hitting on each and every point. Let me tell you, they have had all the wigs. Okay. Let me tell you. Those wigs, oh, look, we got our stylist, Miss Katrina Lee Jones, on there, who also does costume design for films. Katrina Lee Jones, we know you got something to say about this costume and how they covered all the decades and they knocked it out the ballpark. Okay, she
Listen,
said
and we
that was
know
real
how
in the
some of
field.
these shows with wigs get real interesting. So I am so pleased that they did not play them kind of games with the wigs.
Yes. Well, one of the things I saw tweeted, because I was live tweeting as the movie was going on, was like, Tyler Perry, this is how you do wigs, baby. Woo! Yeah, yes, we have to agree. The costume designer most definitely did that. Now, okay, so in our
Let's
community, the
let
Clark sisters are like, they obviously they're gospel royalty. They can
right.
sing their faces off, and hopefully their story will go to the masses and more people will know their music and get connected to their music as well as the message in their music. But let's talk about family. Let's just talk about family. Before we get into the church patriarchy and all of that foolishness, let's talk about family and those family dynamics. Woo! So some people say, you know, Maddie Moss Clark was the Joe Jackson of the gospel industry. Good, bad, or indifferent. I say, you know, there is something about really knowing what your capability and capacity of your children are and trying to pull it out of them. And it's hard and it's painful sometimes, and they don't understand what you're doing in that moment. But if it had not been for their mother, yes, for the Lord on their side, but if it had not been for their mother as well, where would they be? What you think about that, sister?
Well, I think, and you didn't start exactly where I thought you were going to start, but clearly there was some physical, emotional, mental abuse happening in their household with regards to their father, who I thought he said he was a minister, but I don't need you to be slapping up your wife like that. But anyway, um, obviously there was the dynamic between mother and father and him being abusive, that I think as a woman, as a mother of daughters, she wanted to make sure her daughters were self-sufficient. So yes, she probably drove a hard bargain, but I think it was because she did not want them to have to rely on a man, or she did not want them to diminish themselves, as we saw later on, diminish themselves for the love or attention or affection of a man. So I'm guessing that's why she drove a hard bargain. She wanted to make sure that they knew their talent and skill set, and they could make it on their own with or without husbands.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is something very powerful, especially in our community, in the Black community, where mothers have had, have had to carry so much of the load in more than just raising your children, more than just having the type of partner, a true partner in raising of those children, and wanting more from them, knowing that there is more that they can have. And how do you push them to that without pushing them away?
Right.
How do you push them to that without pushing them away? I don't know. It is definitely a hard balance. And you have 6 women in the house. Like, let's just talk about that level of estrogen overload on a daily basis. That is too much. Way too much.
Yeah.
Because I can't even imagine when they were even younger, and just bringing up teenage girls all at the same time. But what I did not know was that wearing pants, and I know, I have never grown up in the Church of God in Christ, but I do know of the Church of God in Christ and some of its ways. But baby, let me tell you, pants is the gateway drug. Don't come up here with no pants on, Jackie.
There are a number of religious groups that feel that women are not supposed to wear pants, women are not supposed to cut their hair. There's just a variety of things that women are not supposed to do. And I mean,
So then let's get into that. Let's talk about the church patriarchy and how they really wanted to silence the mother who had done so much and built so much in terms of using her gifts to exalt and celebrate God. And her gifts was music and talent and training singers and cultivating that talent. And honey, she was hard, because when she took that shoe off and threw at that girl head up in the choir, let me tell you something.
Well, I knew it was about to go down because I saw her chewing that gum, and I was
saw her chewing that gum? Listen.
Ma'am, Miss Ma'am, that is not gonna go in. First of all, you ain't supposed to chew. When we were growing up, at least.
When we was growing up,
chew gum in church, period. But much less you gonna be in the choir trying to sing enough for it to go down your trachea the wrong way, and then we got an emergency situation.
Right. No, ma'am, you is not chewing gum up in the church like that. That's why the mothers of the church always had what in their bag? Hard candy. You had them hard candies, them peppermints, them Werther's originals. That you had that butterscotch. You had them hard candies up in there. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all comment on it in the comment section, because I know y'all know what I'm talking about. The mothers of the church always had the hard candies. But let's talk about, first of all, so we're talking about the patriarchy. So you have the man, the husband at the time, and his belief when he said that patriarchy, that ambition doesn't look good on you. Woo, that took something out my soul and out my spirit, because it's trying to bring that woman down. I don't know what that did for you when you heard that.
Well, I didn't get to hear it like you did, because remember, mine was a little bit ahead of yours, and so I didn't get to hear it hit. I heard her say they were better than the Jackson 5, and so I didn't get to hear him say that. But don't worry, I'm gonna watch it again. I think it's definitely worth watching again. But you just repeating it, I mean, all I can say, in the last few weeks of watching again Hillary Clinton, Shirley Chisholm, before when we were watching Handmaid's Tale, watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, not a Clark Sisters. Men are about to make, y'all pushing me. You're pushing me with the sexism, and you're pushing me with the patriarchy. You really, really are. And the fact that if you believe in, I know you're just talking about the Father, but if you believe in God, and if you believe that your gifts will make room for you, and you believe that God is the provider of your gifts, how then could any man want to stand in the way of that? I don't understand it.
Because he a man and may not be a man of God. Now let's talk about that. Because they got a whole lot of men out here who are not men of God, because they got a whole bunch of them who gonna have people up in the church house tomorrow on Easter, because they talking about, but I don't know what Bible they reading, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But what we have seen repeatedly in church, we have seen men abuse their wives, we have seen pastors have affairs, adultery, but we got a panel full of men who gonna tell a woman that she should not share her gifts with the world. And I thought that's what Christians were supposed to do. That's a part of your evangelism, to go out and share the message with the world. Let's look at some of the comments we have here. So we have Arnetta, who said she grew up Kojic,
Okay.
but my mama wasn't crazy. All right, sis, we see you. And then we got another comment here. Child of men in the church. Let me tell you about the men in the church. The men in the church, and it don't matter what the church. So we ain't just talking about Kojic here, because we could be talking about the Catholic Church. We could be talking about the Baptist Church, the Methodist Church. They won't mess with little children, but then won't tell women what they can't do. Let's talk about it. Y'all know what the truth is. And no.
One of the things about the panel of men that I found was interesting, as somebody said on Twitter. How y'all know they was on the Grammys? Because y'all ain't supposed to be watching this secular TV, right? So how y'all even knew they was on the Grammys? How you know
they had heard?
Girl, they had heard. Who they heard from? You wasn't supposed. Nobody in y'all church should have been watching to even know that the Clark sisters and Mama Clark was up there. So who told you?
Who told you? Out here in these streets. Child, that's religion, not relationship. Talk about it till you can have religion and not relationship. And here's another one. I remember them looks when I was singing in a choir and was caught chewing gum. You lucky you would have your hair taken off by a shoe, honey. Right. Oh, yes, indeed. And yep, I have my hard candy now. Katrina got her hard candy in her purse now. Unfortunately, well, when we streaming tomorrow, hopefully you have your hard candy in your purse when we're doing our church service virtually. Oh, yes, indeed. And what part is this? He knew she came from a certain background equals divorce. She saw the anointing and he missed it. Absolutely. And that talks about discernment right there. But let's talk about Twinkie and this man. So see, we talking about the men. So the men's is sending us over.
Well, Twinkie. You done jumped the Twinkie in the man. But first we gotta talk about this daddy. You gonna put Jackie out just off top? Let's just start there.
Because she ain't his child.
Because she ain't his child. Wait. She been your child all this time. But then you gonna put her out. Then she got to go find her husband. But okay,
yes, Natasha, Twinkie needs her own music because that talent, oh my God. But let's talk about Twinkie and this man. Girl.
His father.
Listen. When he said, I ain't got no job.
Back it up. First of all, what you're not going to do is you're not going to push my mama down. Because guess what? I'm going to push my mama down, and I ain't pushing my mama down, so you definitely ain't pushing my mama down, and we ain't going nowhere, sir. That's what that is. So she shouldn't have even gotten a call. Got me feeling like Celia and Nettie, me and you is never part. Because mama is holding on, begging Twinkie to stay.
Begging.
With this man that don't got a job.
Tommy, you ain't got no job, man. And then gonna be like, well, where your check? Why you ain't bringing in no money? Ain't you one of the Clark sisters?
And they had to have some months had to pass, so bruh. Wait, you had me leave my family, move to what it was, North Carolina, South Carolina.
North Carolina from Detroit, Michigan, which you know ain't around the corner.
And you didn't have nothing set up? Boy, bye. That's what I'm talking about. Boy, bye. You ain't got to worry about my check. When I get my check, it's my check. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We said that he clearly pushed her. I would have been on his head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remix. When he pushed Mama Moss down, I was done. She has dealt with that for years and still do, I believe. Yo, man, I don't know. But that comes from that esteem, you know. So when she said to her mother, I don't know the difference between honoring God or loving God and honoring and loving you, that was a very powerful statement because again, talking about being in the church, being in the religion, but not having your own relationship and trying to understand that it was a very powerful scene and very moving, moving part. And we know that mothers and daughters can have very complex relationships. But you know, let's talk about Niecy Little Fast Behind.
Well, wait, but I just want to say one more thing about that scene. Also, when she said, I needed a mother and you needed an organ player.
Woo!
Girl, why don't you just throw me down the doggone stairs? Where am I? Throw me down the staircase, girl. Because I was like, oh my, mother, oh my. And I know that, of course, after it's all said and done, I'm sure she regretted. You know, I mean, obviously, we don't know if that was the actual details of the conversation, but whatever the details of the conversation were, I'm sure that is something, to Katrina's point, that has probably stayed with her for a very long time.
Absolutely. And it will stay with you. You know, it is, again, I was having a conversation yesterday with some folks about, you know, when we have a scar, that scar might heal on the outside, but underneath our skin, there's a level of scar tissue that has formed, and you will carry that scar tissue for the remainder of your life, even though the visible scars are not there. And I know just watching her having that nervous breakdown and watching her, you know, struggle. I mean, it was, whew, it was rough. It was really, really rough. Yes. Only what you do for Christ will last. That's what Latarsha posted here. Now let's talk about Niecy Fast Behind. Can we talk about Niecy Fast Behind?
The irony is, didn't she, the same woman, play a fast Niecy on Being Mary Jane? I mean, yeah, Being Mary Jane.
What's that little girl name? Oh, Amber Autumn. So what's her name? Let me find her name. Because she plays that role.
Playing a fast Niecy.
Niecy, why you gotta be so fast all the time, girl? Raven Goodwin is her name. Raven Goodwin, yes. And on Being Mary Jane, she was Niecy and needed her mama to take care of her children. Her grandma to take care of her baby. Girl.
Niecy.
But see, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. When you go, oh, Amber Riley, you said that's Amber Riley. Why do they have this girl name? Oh, they have it wrong here.
I don't know.
Okay. Girl, I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was Amber as well. That's why I was surprised when I saw this name here with this picture. But anyway, I will confirm that later. But yes, Niecy stay asking someone to watch her children. On Being Mary Jane, she was asking people to watch her children. Now she watching people. Yes, I would be interested in knowing if those relationships are still strained. And so when they did that 2008 album, that live album, where, you know, they had Blessed and Highly Favored, they did a mixture of old and new songs. She was not with them. And it would be interesting to know if those relationships are still strained. I'm assuming they probably are, because she never reunited with her sisters, and we didn't even see her reunite with them. And that was many, many years later in 2008.
Well, my hope is that they've come to some kind of resolution, because it was included in the story, and and even at the end, you know, they gave an update of who she is. So I'm hoping that at least in making this film, there was some level of resolution.
Oh, I would hope so. That would be very interesting to find out. But I will tell you this. Why At every funeral, we got to have someone clowning. Why at every funeral?
This is why I just say play back that thing up at my funeral. I mean, because we can't have this. I can't have folks walking up. We ain't seen you in years. You walking all the way to the front.
From the back to the front with 7 cheering.
7 boys. I was like, so okay, you was pregnant when you were still in the group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God bless the children. Don't take where I'm saying the wrong way, but damn, it took you to have 7 boys. I mean, like after number 3, you went like, maybe I ought to reevaluate some things. I'm like, wow, ma'am, because at 3 she had 3 out of wedlock in the film.
Right.
But God is good,
but I will say this:
very fertile.
Costuming once again. Y'all know them mothers of the church hats and them white suits was on point. Let me tell y'all right now. I was like, ooh, girl, they looking good in that white.
But Karen was about to put them paws on the outside.
Don't make me go there with you, Denise. You need to go up in that other car. She ain't just your mama. Girl, why we got a clown and cut up at the funeral? Always at the funeral. Couldn't say that for the repast. Couldn't say that till we got to the house. You won't do it at the funeral for everybody to see.
Which I was like, you got 7 sons. You got to get in the second limo. It ain't enough room for you and all your kids. Don't you want to ride with your kids? Ride with your kids. But ain't nothing like a good funeral performance, I guess, child.
Girl, some people live to perform at the funeral. Y'all know who they are. Put their names down in the comments. Y'all done been to them
do not put their names in the comments, folks.
Yes, put their names in the comments. They love to perform at the funeral. Y'all know who we talking about. Look, on my watch party, Donald Naylor, you know who the people I'm talking about love to perform at the funeral. Go ahead and put it in the comments. I know you know who they are. You know who they are. Yes.
Y'all live with y'all family members. She does not have to live with y'all family members. So please do not listen to
them. Karen was ready to lay hands on her
for real.
But don't let Karen fool you. Yes, honey. She had that first lady title. She knew what to do with her first lady title. So so let's talk about Karen. So Karen had again, who was shy and really had to be pushed to kind of walk in her talent and in her gift, and who nearly died from having I can't remember if it was gastric sleeve, gastric bypass, but it was one of those surgeries, and she did nearly die and was in the hospital in a coma, and it was really very touch and go situation for her. So to see her recovered and have her daughter play her, I think that is such a beautiful full circle moment. Yes. So this is a comment about Denise. She clearly needed attention and was dealing with so much more. I pray she finds what she's seeking. I pray that she has found what she's seeking and whole. And to the point you made earlier, LaTarsha, I really hope that hopefully this is a window to reconciliation for them as a family, because I thought the movie was just done very well, and it's an opportunity to have those painful conversations and have those painful recollections, but also be able to put some healing on it.
Yeah.
Put some healing on it. Yeah. Any other comments there, sister, before we get ready to wrap this party up?
No, I guess I feel like Jackie seems like she was
stable.
Yes. Well, I was gonna say she seemed like she was probably the closest to her mother, the most stable. She decided early on, look, I'm gonna get a real job. I'm gonna be a nurse in case this whole singing thing doesn't work out. But I also thought, because I'm also a fan of Dorinda Clark. I thought the moment of Dorinda being on the bridge, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing if she was going to attempt suicide or what have you, I thought that was a very powerful moment as well, that she was asking God for a sign and she felt like she received the sign that she needed to move forward. So
Yes, and Dorinda was always the fashionista of the family, and that
mm.
still is to this day. And
And her
and
blonde wig was on point in the show. I
yes,
enjoyed that transition to the blonde. I said, okay, we own it. We are on top of it.
for sure, for sure. Well, I say they did a marvelous job, and that's one of the comments here. Hats off to Mary J, Missy, and Queen Latifah for producing. Absolutely, hats off to them. As we said, Lifetime can be hit or miss.
And a lot
But
of
a lot of misses with our movies. And now I will say this: they don't need to do no more shows about Whitney Houston, but clearly they are.
as Terrell said, leave Whitney Elizabeth Houston alone. It is well with our soul. We understand that we love Whitney, but we feel
Period.
like it is time for her to rest in full peace.
Yes. Let her be. Let her be, and let her baby be.
Right.
It's tragic, but we it's done. Let it be. So yes, Dorinda is fabulous. Karen is fabulous. Jackie is fabulous. Twinkie is fabulous. I love all the Clark sisters. And yes, Salt and Pepper is up next. Girl, what you think about them previews of that Salt and Pepper movie now?
Well, listen,
Because they got issues, right? Because they not even talking to Spinderella right now. Come on, man. What we doing, y'all?
it is. I am clear. Like I want to say, I guess men groups go through it too, but it is something about the women groups. From Invo to Salt and Pepper to the Clark sisters to Destiny's Child to it is something about TLC. It is something about
Escape. Keep
these
naming
women
them. Keep
groups.
naming them.
Huh?
Keep naming them. I said escape. Keep naming them.
Escape. Yeah. Oh my word. It's like why? Why can't we SWV? I mean, why can't we just
Can we all just get along?
sing a tune, lift our voices to heaven? Why we gotta go everybody and what they like you said, the divide and conquer strategy. What they
Girl.
always do is
Mm,
you should go solo. You know, you don't need them. You the star. You should go solo. Child.
Let me see what more comments. Let me make sure we commented on everything. Yes, all the groups. All the groups. Why we do that? Okay. So, what other comments you sent me in here? You texted me stuff so you won't forget. Oh yes, he's swinging on folks. Ain't he a preacher? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and who he's didn't he say you're useless to me?
Yes, that's what you're useless to me.
Oh, what?
But again, we're supposed to be the man of God. She
Child, let's
wasn't
look at it. We naming all the groups. SWV, the Braxtons. The
the right.
Braxtons still can't get it right. Oh, look, the Cheetah Girls.
Or
Yes, country.
3LW, depending on where you caught them at.
Yeah, if you caught them in the early days, Cheetah Girls, later day 3W, wherever you caught them at, Notorious still got some feeling, some kind of way about that. Let's
Does.
talk about it. Oh, yes, everybody wants to be a star. But, yeah, but but everybody is in their own right. And when done right, everybody can have their moment to shine.
And
702.
did we hit on Twinkie? I thought 7022, but did we hit on Twinkie selling that whole catalog? We talked about it a little bit on the other line. But did we talk about Twinkie selling that catalog for Lincoln? Help me,
Jesus,
Lord.
Jesus, Jesus. Let me tell, and so here's the other thing. So just recently in music history, Megan Thee Stallion was having a dispute with her record label, about releasing music and the first deal she signed. Everybody still want to sign that first deal so bad. Learn the ways of the industry, because everybody gets screwed. And I hope that she has been able to reacquire her catalog, because again, owning the rights to your gift, your craft. I mean, I'm talking about, she not only wrote the song, but she composed. So you're talking about the music, you talking about the songwriting, you like from the lyrical part as well as the composition part. Like, you gave all of that away. And here's the thing, we don't know how many years thereafter she gave away too.
Right. Well, that's what her mother told her. You sold yourself out, you sold out your sisters, and you sold out your family and your future. Your future. So prayerfully, if they don't have the catalog back with the success of this movie, prayerfully they will get it back. But hopefully they have already gotten it back. But yes, that was another gut.
It kind of was going on with Beethoven. Yeah, the Supreme. But it probably was happening to Beethoven back in his day. Who knows? But they did. But did their mama teach them about the business? I don't know if their mama taught them about the business, or was she trying to protect?
Maybe if she let her go to college, she would have learned about the business. I don't know. I can't say that she would have, but I just
no, because Megan Thee Stallion in college and she still missed that part. Yeah. Okay, so you said, how about the lady who played Dr. Moss? So we talked about her a little bit up top. Her name is Aunjanue Ellis. She is, I think, a graduate of Tougaloo College in Mississippi. So HBCU grad. And she played that part from beginning to end. She embodied the spirit of that mother. And I hope that she is nominated for an Emmy for her role. Yes, I hope she's nominated for her Emmy in her role, because she just did a phenomenal job. I don't know. What do you think? It was an Emmy worthy?
I do. And I was going to say, just you reminded me the scene in the hospital, because what I wanted to tweet, but I didn't get to it fast enough, was, wow, a real mother knows their kids, because how she just sat there and she was like, oh, telling the doctor, you don't know the Clarksons, you don't know my daughters, these are my babies. And she went through each one of them to define who they were. And that, again, goes back to this idea with the treachery of the music industry, where they will seek out a weakness, I feel like, in certain people, and say, you should be the star, you should be the front person, the front woman, you should be the one that goes solo. But what she identified in that hospital room on her dying bed was, each one of them, right, had something special about who she was, and that is what contributed to their overall success. Because you can't be all of them as
like
great.
She said, one sound,
one voice. Yes, one voice, one sound. And as great as each one of them has since been, it would have never been the case had they not been the Clark sisters first.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So we have a few more comments here talking about the music industry and how managers always try to take everything. Today, there's no reason not to understand and know the importance of reading your contract, having somebody else who you know, love, and trust read your contract, and really keep your interests at mind. Someone said, I wonder why Twinkie wasn't included in the last scene. I thought she was over at the organ.
She was on. Yeah, she was playing organ.
Yeah, I thought she was over at the organ. So this is about the glasses, and yes, she played her. Someone else saying, and yes, if you know anything about Dr. Clark, she played her to a T. She definitely played her to a T. And to the comment that you were making about the mother speaking life into her children, she absolutely spoke into her children, and that probably was a moment that they had not experienced at that point in time, where she was telling them what was unique and special about them. And they probably had been craving that for so long. And it was such a beautiful and moving moment. And yes, they all brought something unique. They all had anointing. They needed to walk in it. Karen was very shy and still is, but her mom spoke over her. Yes. So it was just a very, very powerful. I thought they did a great job with the movie. And of course, if it was a major motion picture production, they probably could have had gotten even more depth into some elements. But for a Lifetime TV movie, I think they hit it out the park. So I say for me, it's definitely 2 thumbs up. And if you don't know about the Clark sisters, hopefully tonight you learn something about it. Hopefully you'll watch it in the replay for the weeks and years to come, because we know how Lifetime does. And go get their music, especially at this time right now, as we are in, those of us who, listen, I don't be up in the church house like some of my friends, but that don't mean I don't love the Lord, no less. But their music really ministers to my spirit, and it always has. And so when they sang "It's My Living in Vain," that's one of my favorites.
Blessed and highly favored at the end. Like I said, it could have been me, it should have been me, it would have been me if it wasn't for the blood, girl. That is, whew.
Yes.
That's my song.
Yes. That you obviously you brought the sunshine, but what's the other one that they were saying? God dog it, this left my head. Oh, I hate when that happens. A lot of things been escaping my head tonight. It was the album that they did after Twinkie had left. Oh my gosh, what's the song? Miracle.
Okay.
Yes, that song. It's just so powerful, so much power from the start. And it says Kiara has a new album out too. That's fabulous. I love Donald Lawrence as well. So yeah, man, but anyway, go find the Clark sisters music. Listen to the music. A Balm in Gilead. There is a balm in Gilead. Listen, y'all need to find the Clark sisters music. Let it minister to your soul and your spirit. And on those days when you are feeling torn down, dejected, and as if you can't go on, it will most definitely lift you up. And hey, we have several more weeks, guys, to be in our staying healthy at home situation. And we will have those moments where we will need to be lifted up. So let's continue to lift them up as a family, and for the gift that they have shared with the world. Let's continue to lift one another up. Let's continue to lift our friends and family members up let's lift those up who we know have lost loved ones, who are dealing with the coronavirus and coming through some very difficult times and circumstances. Let's lift those up who are having other ailments. That's the one thing that I, as watching this movie tonight, is just that we need so much spiritual healing right now. And hopefully this movie is a conduit for people to get the healing that they need. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, everybody go check out the Clark sisters. And we just want you to know we're coming back tomorrow. We have a very special show on tomorrow evening. We want you to like, follow, and share Hey Sister. So if you go to our page, we want you to click Get a Reminder. We're going to have Dr. Maurice Scholes on. He's an MD and PhD from Louisiana, and he's scheduled to come on. And we're going to talk about talk about COVID-19, the coronavirus, the impact in the African American community, the health disparities conversation. Because I feel some kind of way about yesterday with the Surgeon General's conversation, but
We'll
nonetheless,
save that for tomorrow. Save
we
that for
will
tomorrow.
say yes. We're going to save all of that for tomorrow, and we want you to join us and join in that conversation, and also ask questions, because we'll have an expert on who can answer the questions that you may have as it relates to the illness, treatment, and where do we go from here as a community. So with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for following Hey Sister and joining us tonight. So like, follow, and share. And sister, what do you have to say in closing?
The only thing I have to say is, since you just brought up COVID, while I was watching, I did get some news that one of my friends, unfortunately lost her father, as a result of COVID-19. And so, to her, I am praying for you, and I'm praying for your family. And if there's anything that you need that I can help with, please know I am here for you. I am sorry that I can't physically be there with you at this time to support you, but I love you, and I'm praying for y'all.
Okay. Well, with that, we're signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.